So this is a national webinar on effective use of Google Apps in the teaching learning process, organized by Nirmala Institute of Education, Internal Quality Assurance Cell. So today we will see how these Google Apps can be used for the teaching and learning process. There are three apps which we are looking at right now, that is Google Classroom, Google Forms, and Google Sites. Today we will only focus on how Google Classroom can be used in the teaching and learning process. So today we will see these aspects. The first one is how to create and join class. Second one is adding students and collaborators. Third one is how to create topics in the Google Classroom, how to share material with the students, how to schedule assignments, and how to grade the students. So now I will be stopping the screen share and I will take you all to directly to the internet, to the Chrome, where we will see how to join in the classroom, how to create a class, and the rest of the things. So let me stop screen sharing. Is everyone able to see the screen? Please reply in the chat box if you are able to see the screen. Okay, thank you very much. Now let us see how to log in Google Classroom. The first thing that all of you all will need is a Gmail account. Okay, if you all do not have a Gmail account, please create one Gmail account. And when you do that, you just need to go to your Gmail, okay? And then there you can see this 9 dots which are here. Okay, when you click on those dots, these will take you to all the apps which Google has kept for people to use for their purpose. Okay, so when you scroll down, you will see this icon, okay, which is classroom. You just need to click on that icon. And it will take you to a screen like this. Okay, we need to wait for some time. Yes, so this is the screen which will be open when you click on the Google Classroom. Now here there are two important things that you need to notice. So next to this name, that is Google Classroom, these are three horizontal lines. When you click on these three horizontal lines, you will see various options like classes, calendar, archived classes, and settings. Okay. Now let us explore the other side of it. You can see here the plus sign. Okay. So when you click on that plus sign, you will get two options which will allow you to join or create a class. Now the first thing that we will see is how to create a class. So you need to go there and just click on create class. When you click on create class, there will be a permission asked. You just need to tick in the checkbox and say continue. After clicking on continue, you will get one more tab wherein the app will ask you to create a class. So there are four fields which you need to fill in. The first one is class name, section, subject, and room. So class name is a required entry without which you will not be allowed to create a class. So in the class name, for example, since this is a demo, I'll just put as demo 1. Section is something like, say, suppose if you are teaching for the first years, you can put the class name as FY B.Ed. If you are teaching for the second years, or if you are creating a class for second years, you can say SY B.Ed or FY B.Ed. Section you can add, if you are teaching B.Ed, you can put B.Ed, BCom, likewise. Then subject, for which subject have you created the class? Say, suppose I have created this class for science subject. Then room, all these fields are optional. So for example, I can just put as room number 1. and then I need to create on this create option. So when I click here, it will take a few moments. Now once the class is created, you will see this particular interface. Now we will understand what these options on the screen mean. Now to the left, you can see the name of the class that we have just typed, that is demo 1, and the section below, that is B.Ed. Now next to that are the three horizontal lines. These three lines will help you go to your basic like home button, like how we have a home button on phone. That way it will take you to the basic structure of the entire Google Classroom. Now here on this screen, you can see 4 tabs. The first one is stream, second one is classwork, third one is people, and the last one is grade. So these are the 4 things you can see on this screen. Then you can see a blue color theme. Okay. Now below this is something called class code. Now this class code is a very important key. So we'll understand how important is this for your students and you in order to run this particular class. Now to your right on the screen is our two options. The first one is select theme and the second one is upload photo. Now say suppose if you want to change the theme of the classroom, you can do it here. You just need to go and click on select theme. When you click on select theme, it will take you to another window wherein you will get various themes which are already there as default, wherein there are various options which are given like general, English and history, math and science, arts, sports, and others. So since I've created a class for a subject of science, I will choose any one of the following. So I'm choosing this. After choosing the given theme, you need to click on select class theme, which is here. Okay, so I have selected the class theme. So as you can see here, the theme is getting loaded. And here the theme is changed from blue to pink. Now say suppose you don't like the themes which are available already by default in Google Classroom. You can also change it by adding the photo which you want by clicking on upload photo, which is just below select theme. You can just click on upload photo, which will allow you to select a photo from your computer. If you can see here, they are giving you an option of selecting a photo from your computer. So if you click on that, it will take you to the files which are on your computer, and if you have any image which is already downloaded, you can choose that and you can keep that as your class theme. So I'm not doing this. You can do it later on when you'll be trying it on your own. So now so far we have understood how to create a class. Okay, now let us see how we can join a class. Say suppose you have created a class and you want to demonstrate your students how to join a class. The only thing that you need to tell them is they need to download Google Classroom app from the Play Store on their laptop. If they are using it on their phone, they can download it on their phone. And similarly, like how we have done, the way we had joined the class, and the way we have created the class, the same way we can join a class. We need to go to this plus sign here on the screen. Okay, click there. And instead of creating a class, we need to click on join class. So when you click on join class, you will get a tab wherein it will say that ask your teacher for the class code, then enter it here. If you remember when we were discussing few minutes back about the class code, I said this class code is very important for you because it will help your students to join your class. So when you share that class code with the students, that code students will enter here, and after entering that code, they will be able to join your class. So they will enter the code, okay, and then they have to click on join. Okay, this code I have simply added as an example, but they need to add the code here and join your class. So now let me go to our demo class. Okay, so now so far we have seen how to create a class and how to join a class. Now let us go to the second aspect, that is how we can add students or collaborators to our class. So in order to add students or collaborators to our class, we need to go to the third tab in Google Classroom, that is People tab. So if you all can see here, you can see two sections on the screen. The first section is teachers and the second section is students. So in the teachers section, you can see my name. Because I have logged in using my Gmail, so my whatever name that I have put on my Gmail account will appear there. Okay. So and this icon here with a person symbol and a plus sign. Similarly, you can see student section below wherein similar icon is available. Now, below that, they have given one small instruction that invite students or give them the class code. And this is the class code of the class. Now, if I want to join the students to this particular class, there are two options. The first option is I need to click on that particular icon of a person with a plus sign. Either I can just add their name or I can add their email ID. Say suppose if I want to join, I'll add another account of mine in order to demonstrate how we can add students. This is my other mail ID. So I'm clicking on this and I'll invite. Okay, so when you click on invite, a mail will be sent to that particular mail ID. Okay, now I'm just going to my mail. That screen you won't be able to see. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just join the class by clicking on the link which is sent by mail. Okay, so I've clicked on join. Now I'm coming back to the screen which is being shared. Then after some time you'll see that this name which is given here will be highlighted. It will be active. The moment I join the class, it will be active. So I'm in the process of joining the class. So I've selected the account with which I'll join the class. So now it will take some time. Till then, we can just see how we can add teachers. In the similar way, we can go to the teachers section here, and if you all can see the symbol here, same thing you need to do. You just need to click there in order to invite teachers. So here you need email ID of the teacher. So you need to type in the email ID of the teacher, and similarly you need to click on invite. Once you type in the email ID, you can just click on invite. A mail will be sent to the teacher, the concerned teacher, and the teacher will join the class as one of the collaborators. One more thing that every one of us need to know, which is also highlighted here, that teachers which will be added by you as a collaborator to the class, they can do everything as you can. But the only thing that they cannot do is they cannot delete the class. So that right will always remain with you to delete the class if you want to. Okay, so I'm just joining the class now. So the moment I join in, you will be able to see my name there in the student section. Okay, so I have joined the class. Yes. So now my name has come because I have joined the class, and you can see my name here as well in the student section. This is another mail of mine to which I've sent the mail in order to join the class. Okay. So now I know how to add students. Now we know that how to add collaborators. Okay. Is this clear to everyone till now? Please respond in the chat box. If till now everything was clear, if I need to repeat something, I'll do that. So far we have seen how to create a class, how to join a class. Okay. We have also seen how to add students and how to add collaborators. Is it clear to everyone? Please send your replies in the chat box. Okay. Thank you. Now let us go to the next aspect or next topic for this particular section, that is creating topics. Now let us come back to the stream tab of Google Classroom. This particular tab is like our news feed of Facebook page. Okay, so whatever that you post in this Google Classroom will be seen here. Okay, so if you're posting material, if you're posting assignments, if you're sharing anything with your class will be seen here. So you need to compare this with a news feed of Facebook. Okay, and this particular section wherein you can see share something with your class is like that tab on Facebook which will allow you to post things. Okay, say suppose if I want to welcome all the students, then I can just say hello everyone. Welcome to Google Classroom. And I can post it. The moment I post it, it will be seen on this particular screen. That is, hello everyone, welcome to Google Classroom. Okay, as in I have created this particular message in the stream tab. So it is like a news feed of Facebook. Now let us see how we can create topics. So let us go to the next tab of Google Classroom, that is classwork. So this particular tab of Google Classroom has various options. Okay, the most important one is create with a plus sign. When you click on this create option in the drop down menu, you will see 6 options. The first one is assignment. Second one is quiz assignment. Third one is question. Fourth one is material. Fifth one is reuse post. And the last one is topic. So in order to create topics in our classroom, we need to use the last option in the create. Yes. So here, when you click on topics, you will get this particular tab wherein it will ask you to type a name of the topic. Like as teachers, say suppose I'm teaching a particular subject. In that subject, in the syllabus, we have several units. And I want to create units in the classroom similar to the way I have in my syllabus. So say suppose if I have 4 units in my syllabus, I can just either type the name of the units or I can just type unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4 likewise. So for example, I'll just type it as unit 1 and I'll add the topic. The moment I add a topic, it will be seen like this. So unit 1 is seen here. So now I want to add one more topic. So I'll add unit 2. Okay, this way you can add as many topics as you want. So let me just add 4 topics. Unit 3. Okay, and the last one is unit 4. So instead of typing unit 1, unit 2, unit 3 or unit 4, you can also type in the name of the unit in place of this. Okay, so I have these 4 units already created. Okay, but if you can notice here, these are not placed or organized properly. So I want this unit 1 to come on top and unit 4 to go at the bottom. So what I can do is, here, these 3 vertical lines which you can see on the screen, the 3 vertical dots which you can see on the screen, they will help us move these sections up and down. So when you click on these 3 vertical dots, you will get in the drop down menu again 4 options: rename, delete, copy link and move down. So now I want to move down this unit 4 and bring unit 3 up. So unit 3 has automatically come up. So now I want unit 2 to go on top. Okay, then again I'll bring this unit 4 down. Then I want to move up this unit 1. Okay, and I'll bring this unit 3 down again. Yes, once more, so that I have all the units arranged in sequence. So I have unit 1, unit 2, unit 3 and unit 4. So these are the 2 things that you need to do whenever you have to create a topic, okay, or create topics basically. So what you need to do, first thing, you need to go to the classwork tab, click on create and then select the last option, that is topics, and do the steps that we have just followed. Okay, so we are done with the third aspect related to Google Classroom, that is how to create topics. So far, all of us know how to create a class, join a class. We also know how to add students and we know how to create topics. Now, the fourth aspect is how we can share material with the students. Now we have some reference material which we want to send to the students. We have some notes which are ready. We want to share PPTs with them. We want to share YouTube videos. We want to share some files which will be very important for them for learning. So to do that, okay, we need to again come to classwork. Okay, this classwork tab, out of these four tabs, that is stream, classwork, people and grades, this classwork tab will help you create topics, it will help you send material, it will help you send assignments. Okay, so again, in order to create or send material, we need to click on create. Okay, and in the drop down menu, the fourth option is material, like assignment, quiz assignment, question, and the fourth one is material. So if I click on this material, it will allow me to send any file to the student in a fraction of seconds. Like when you click on material, it will bring you all to one of the screens like this, wherein this interface will ask you to type in the title. Now title, as in, say suppose if I want to send material related to unit 1, say suppose I want to send material related to, just an example, uh, is science process skills. Okay, this is the title of the material which I want to send, and I can also add in details or description related to that this particular material, that I want to say that please refer to the material, and I want to wish them all the best for the exam. I can type anything. It is optional. It is not mandatory that you need to fill in this space. But this title is mandatory, because if you don't have anything written in the title, just say suppose now, just look at the title. This title is empty, and look at this option here, post. It is not active. But the moment I type anything here, this option here will get active. That means that typing a title is very important. So I'll just type science process skills. So without typing in the title, you cannot post this material. Now we are done typing the title. We have also added description to the given topic. Okay. Now I want to add, yes,
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes. Yes. Somebody wanted to ask something? You can please type in your question in the chat box. If you are finding it difficult to talk. Okay, should I continue? Okay. You can type in your question in the chat box. Okay. Now, proceeding further, we need to see, I have added the title to this particular material. I have also added description related to the material. I have given instructions related to the material. Now I want to send them a file. Okay. Now here you can see this option, add. Okay. When you click on add, there are various options in the drop down menu. The first one is Google Drive. Second one is link. Third one is file, and fourth one is YouTube. Okay, those are familiar with the way it works will know that when you click on Google Drive, it will allow you to send a link, okay, in the Google Drive or any material which is saved in Google Drive. When you click on link, it will show one more tab wherein you can type in or copy or paste a link which will add to the material that you are sending. You can also add file. Okay, when you click on file, it will take you to an interface wherein you can actually select files from your device. Like you have a material ready with you, a PDF file, a Word file, or a PPT which is saved in your device. So when you click on file, you can actually drag file from your computer and upload it on Google Classroom, or you can even select from file from your device by going to the respective folder and pasting it here. So say suppose if I want to select one file from my computer, like a logo, I'll just take our logo, and I want to share this logo to the students who have already joined my class. So I've just clicked on the logo I've added. Now there is one more option here, add more files. That means you can add more than one file at a time. So you always don't have to do or repeat the same steps that we have just followed. You can add more files. I want to add one more thing. Okay, say suppose I want to add this particular folder, this particular PDF, I can do that as well. Likewise, I can add as many files as I want, and then I can click on this option here, upload. So when I click on upload, it will take some time to upload the files that you have already added, and then these files will be visible in the post that on the material that I want to create. Okay, we can wait for a while. If anyone is having any question related to the Google Classroom or uploading or creating a class, joining a class, adding students, if you have any question related to the things that we have covered so far, please type your question in the chat box. Okay. Let us wait for some time. It's getting uploaded as this file is bit big, 17.9 MB. It will take some time. We can wait for a while. Yes, there are few questions which are coming in the chat box. Okay, all the questions are noted down by our team. So at the end of this session, all the questions will be answered. If you have any questions, you can keep posting them in the chat box. All the questions will be answered at the end of the session. We can wait for a minute or so. Almost it's done. Now, all the assignments that you're posting, one question is asked by Ms. Zenith Trivedi. She's asking, ma'am, all those assignments which I'll receive from my students, will it get saved in my internal storage of my phone? The answer to this is whatever that you do, whatever assignments that you will receive, they will get stored in your Google Drive. Okay, I'll come to that. A very interesting question she has asked. I think we are almost done uploading. Okay, so you all can see here the logo that I have uploaded and also the PDF web tools which I have just added to this particular post. Now, to the right, you can see this option post. Okay, next to post is an downward arrow. When you click on that arrow, there are again four drop down options that are coming in the drop down menu. The first one is post, schedule, save draft, and discard draft. So what you can do is, if you want to post this particular material right now, you can click on post. Say suppose if you have just begun teaching them this particular topic related to this material. So you want to send this material after 2 days. So you can do that as well. So when you click on schedule, you can actually schedule when and what time you want to send this particular material. So when you schedule your material, it will get sent at that particular time. Also, you can save the draft by clicking on save draft here. You can also discard the draft, wherein say suppose if you have done some mistake, you can always discard the draft, which will delete the draft that you have just created. Now just below that, you can see for and topic. Okay, for as in, since we have only one class which is named as demo 1, okay, but I can have more classes. It's not that I can create only one class. If I'm teaching 10 classes, if I'm taking, say suppose, let us take a smaller number, if I'm taking 3 subjects, so I can create 3 classes for all these 3 subjects. So in that case, if I have more than one class in Google Classroom, then I'll get an option in the drop-down menu with the names of all the classes that I've created. Okay. And next to that is all students. Since I have only one student, that's me, registered for my own class, I can either select all students wherein I'm here, this is a provision given to the teacher. Say suppose I want to send this material or assignment only to few students of the class, then I can choose by clicking in the check box the students to whom I want to send the material. If not, I can click on all students option. So if I click on all students option, it will go to all the students. Okay. Now below that is topic. So in topic, if you all remember, we created those 4 topics named as Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3 and Unit 4. Now the reason we created the topic first was to make, so in order to make it more easier for the teacher to organize the material. So when you create the topic first, you know in which topic you are adding this particular material that you are creating. So the first thing that you all need to do the moment you create a class for yourself or for your students is to create a topic. But if you have not created a topic, there's no problem. You can also create it here, wherein you can just click on create option or create topic option. You can just type the topic, maybe like Unit 5. Unit 5. Okay. I've created this new topic, Unit 5. If I don't want to create a topic and I want to add this material to the existing unit or the topic that I've created, maybe I want to add this particular material to Unit 4. So I'll just click on Unit 4. Okay. And then when everything is done, when I have already named this particular material in the title, I have already added the description, which is again I'm emphasizing on that it is optional. It is not compulsory for you to add a description related to the material. Then I have added few things like an image I've added. I've also added a PDF. In addition to that, I can also click on create, which gives me an option of adding Google Docs, okay, slides, Google Sheets, drawing and forms. Okay, these are the options which are given in the create section of this particular material. But suppose if you have any document which is saved in your Google Drive related to this topic, you can just click on Google Docs and you can attach that particular document there. Likewise, you can do for the rest of the options which are available in the create option. Now I'm ready with everything. I know what material I have already added the material. I have given description. I have already given the title. I know to which unit I am referring this material to. Now I want to post this. So I'll just click on this post. The moment I post it, you can see it in the classwork section. So as I had told you all that stream is something like a news feed of Facebook. So whatever that I do in the classroom will be seen in the stream tab. So are you all able to see this? Pratiksha Shirodkar posted a new material, science process skills. So the moment I post it, whatever that I do in the classwork section will be seen here. So the students can click on that option, new update that has come on Google Classroom and refer to the material. So if I click here, it will take me here. So wherein I can just read the name of the material, that is science process skills. I can read the description that the teacher has given. I can also access the content or the PDF or the image that is being given here by the teacher. Okay, so I'm going back to the class. Now let us see how it has come in the classwork tab. So in the classwork tab, since we added that material to Unit 4, you will see that material in Unit 4 here. So in Unit 4, I have added science process skills. So likewise, I can add material to all the units. So what I need to do is I can just go to create, click on material, add any title. This is again one more example. Okay, you can just type anything, or you can also add a YouTube video. Okay, it will take you directly to a YouTube. It will take you directly to a tab wherein you can actually type in any you can type in any, like say suppose if you have if I want to send them a video on values. Okay, so I'll just search the videos on YouTube which are available for values. So this is basically a provision which will help you add anything related to YouTube from Google Drive and with your students. So I'm just for a demo, I'm selecting the first video that is available here. And when I click on this YouTube video, and then this add option will be active, then I'll click add. So this video has come here. The link out to this video will be seen here. Okay. Now, in addition to this video, if I want to add link from my Google Drive, okay, I can do that as well. I want to send this particular image which is there in my Google Drive. Okay, this is not in the Google Drive, this is a recent option. Okay, I want to send something from my Google Drive. Okay, again, this particular image which is there in my Google Drive, I'll just add it. You can see this here. Okay, now I want to post this to my class. Okay, now what I have done here is, purposely I have not added the topic. Okay, so when you don't add a topic, when you don't choose a topic, it will come like this. See, when I added science process skill, it came under this particular unit. But while posting this material, that is unit 1, I did not choose under which unit I want to post this material. So it has come separately. It has not come under any of these sections, neither in unit 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, neither in 4. So it has come separately. So if you don't choose the section, okay, if you don't choose the class, it will come separately. I did not choose the topic here. Okay, so that's why it came separately. So these are the things which you all need to understand while or need to know while sharing material with the students. Now in create option here, there are various other options in addition to material. We have assignment, we have quiz assignment, we have question, we have reuse post. Okay. First thing is assignment. It is all similar. Like the steps that we have followed while posting a material, the same thing we need to do while posting an assignment with few additions. So let us see how to post an assignment. Okay, so this are the pop-ups which will come in. You just need to click on got it, because since you will be using it for the first time, various messages will come. Just click on got it. Okay, so now we'll see how to post an assignment. So this rule applies to everything that you would create. So if you don't type anything in the title, this will not get active. So if you need to have, it is mandatory to have a title. So I want to post an assignment to the students related to value education. Okay, and I need to give few instructions to them. Like I want the assignment, like I want it typed assignment, TNR, that is Times New Roman. I want the font size to be 12. I need the document in justified. I need 1.5 spacing for this particular document. Like that in detail, you can always give instructions to the students here. Now, below that is an add option. Like this is very similar to what we had in the material section. Similarly, you can add Google Drive, you can add a link, you can add file, you can add YouTube video or YouTube link. Okay. Now, say suppose I have an assignment for my students which is a bit difficult and I want them to refer to something which is available online. So what I can do is I can just click on YouTube, okay, and just type in anything related to that particular assignment, which will help them, a video related to that assignment, which will help them understand what I actually expect from them. So I can just type something related to value education, which is useful for them, related, which will help them do that assignment in a better way. So I think that this video, the second video here, will help student understand what I'm expecting from them in the assignment. So I'll just take this particular video and I'll add to the post. So what I expect my students to do, I want them to go through this video and understand what kind of an assignment I want from them. Okay, similarly, I can also add docs slides, sheets, drawings, and forms. Okay. If you have any content related to that in all these apps, you can also add that. Okay. Now to the right, you can see for points, due, topic. This is a bit different than what we had in the material section. So for, since we have only one class, no options would be coming in the drop downs. Okay. All students, I want to assign it to all the students of my class. So I'll click on all students. Now here is an option wherein you can give points for this, for your assignment. Say suppose I want to give 15 marks to this particular assignment. So I'll just type 15. Now this due, okay, no due date. Okay, by default it will come as no due date. But say suppose today is 7th of July. So I want the students to say send the assignments by 10th of July. So I'll just type, I'll just select this particular date. Then time optional, you can see this here. So you can also set the time. Say suppose if you want your students to submit the assignment by 1 p.m. Okay, so I have clicked on 1 p.m. So what will happen is if the students are submitting the assignment after 1, okay, they will be marked as late submission. Okay, and if they submit on 11th of July, still, even if they submit after 1, okay, still they'll be marked late submission, the submission will be marked as late. Okay, so this will help the teachers actually monitor all the students. Say suppose what happens is you give an assignment to the students and some students will come up with excuses that they were not able to do the assignment because of this reason and that reason. And because of our busy schedule and all the things that we do, it is a bit difficult for us sometimes to maintain a record, like who has given the assignment at what time, when. Okay, sometimes we accept assignments late and then we end up giving same marks to everybody, which is an injustice to those who have actually given the assignments on time, okay, by sacrificing all the things. So this option will help us monitor all the students and do justice to all their efforts. And also it is not like if if they have crossed the final date, they cannot submit the assignment. They can always submit the assignment, but it will come with a remark that you are late. Okay, so this will help teachers and this will actually reduce the stress to do justice to the students that they are handling. Now the below that due option is topic. So here again, like how we did, you can again select the unit for which you have to want to assign the assignment. Okay, and this rubric section. Now this rubric is a very important aspect which is associated with Google Classroom. Now, like when we give an assignment, I don't know how many teachers do follow this method. When we submit or when we assign anything to the students, it is our duty to tell them the criteria based on which we will be assessing their assignment. Okay, sometimes we don't do that, but it is very important for the students to know on what basis will my teacher assess my assignment. Okay, so this rubric will help you create or like put down all those criteria which can help them to do the assignment based on those aspects. So if I click on this rubric, it will come with 3 drop down options, that is create rubric, reuse rubric, or import from sheets. This import from sheets option will actually help you. Say suppose if you have already created a rubric in Google spreadsheet, then you can actually import that rubric and put it here. If I want to create a rubric, let us see what happens when I click on create rubric. So it will take you here and wherein you can actually type in the criteria. See suppose I want the assignment, like the first criteria I want to put as neat. Okay, but now it will ask you for criteria on description, wherein you have to type what do you mean by neat. Like say suppose if I want creativity, if I type creativity here, so what is your definition of creativity? So that you need to type. Okay. So how many points do you want to give for that particular criterion? Say suppose out of 15, I want to give 2 marks or 2 points. Okay. That way. Then level. Sorry. This way you can actually add in the levels. So here I'm putting 2 points 2. Then I can add description as in anything related to that particular, say suppose 2 points. say suppose if I want the assignment to be neat or if assignment to be creative, what is the description related to that particular point, or what is the description related to that particular criterion that I have chosen? I can add that, there. Okay, that's the first thing. Now just below that you can see this addition, the plus sign, and add a criterion. So you can add one more criterion clicking on that. Maybe the next criterion that I want to give is maybe okay, like neatness. Okay, similarly I will describe what does neatness mean to me. Okay, and then I will add points for this particular criterion. I want to give 3 points for this. So likewise you can actually edit and decide how you want to give and what kind of criterion you want to give. Okay, so these will be seen in that rubric. So when you're grading the students, which we'll see in the next section of our discussion, like when you're grading the student, this criterion will be available for you, based on which you can grade them. Okay, so I can just sort the order of points by choosing these two options, ascending, descending. Okay, so I have added two criterion here. So I've given 3. Okay, now I want to save it. So there is one option here, save. So I can click on save. There are errors on this page. Okay. Just delete this. Let us keep only one criterion here. Okay. Now I'm saving this particular criterion. So if you see here in the rubric section to the right, you can see rubric, one criterion I have put 3 points. Likewise, you can add more criterion. Like say suppose I have 4 criterion, I can add criterion in the rubric section and keep it ready. So now I'm ready with the title. I have my instructions in place. I have a video, YouTube video, which will help them understand what kind of an assignment I'm expecting from them. I know how many points I've given for the assignment. I know the due date. I have added the due date. I've also added the time. I know under which unit or for which topic I'm giving the assignment. I'm also ready with the rubric. Okay. So now I'm ready to assign. Now if I click on assign, it will get assigned at that moment itself. But if I want to schedule the assignment, what do I need to do? I will just click on this option, this downward arrow next to assign. After clicking that, I'll get 4 options in the drop down menu. So I'm interested in scheduling the assignment, which is the 5th aspect that we are discussing today. So when I click on schedule, it will take me to one more tab wherein it will ask me when you want to schedule the assignment. Say suppose I want to schedule the assignment for tomorrow, day after, that is July 9th. Okay, at what time do you want to send the assignment? I want to send the assignment at 8 p.m. Okay, so I've scheduled the assignment. So this assignment will automatically get sent on July 9th at 8 p.m. Okay, so it has already been saved. So I can just click on schedule. So I've already scheduled it. So it is getting scheduled. Okay, so you can just see here, scheduled for tomorrow, that is 8 a.m. Okay, I did not change the setting for the second time I edited it. So if you see tomorrow, okay, that particular assignment will get posted. You don't have to do anything. Okay, so likewise you can schedule your assignments for the whole month, and which will help you. Say suppose at times we think of various assignments that we can give to the students and we forget giving them. So the moment you think of some assignment, you can create that assignment and schedule it. So as in when you teach the topic to the students, they'll keep on receiving the assignments throughout the month. Say suppose I've planned to give 4 assignments during this particular month. So what I can do is every week I can schedule one assignment which they will receive. Okay, automatically. You don't have to do anything. You just need to schedule it and they will receive it whenever, whichever like date you have fixed it for the fixed in the Google Classroom. So here, when you schedule the assignment in Unit 3, you can see this. Okay, value education, it is scheduled for tomorrow. So tomorrow this will become active. Now next to that is these 3 vertical dots. Okay, so when you click on those 3 vertical dots, you can see two options in the drop down menu, edit and delete. So if you have something to be added to that assignment, you can always click on edit and you can edit that assignment. Say suppose you have by mistake uh, written as 8 a.m. but I want to send it at 8 p.m. So you can change it here and you can again click on schedule. So this allows you to even edit the assignment that you have already scheduled. It also allows you to delete. Say suppose you don't want that assignment to be sent to the students because you have not finished that portion and you cannot expect them to do that assignment at that particular time. You can also delete the assignment, or you can also postpone that particular assignment by changing the schedule date. Okay, so we now we know how to schedule the assignment, we know how to share material with the students, we know how to add criterion in the rubrics. Okay, now a very important aspect is grading. Now grading is something which which has been thought by, like, there are various ways by people grade. Okay, there are various discussions on that, but this app will basically, or this particular app of Google will help you make this process very effective and very just. Okay, so in order to know how to grade, okay, actually I need some one assignment to be sent to me. So what I will do is I will just go to the other tab and I will share the assignment which is already assigned since I'm a student here. So what I'll do, I'll just go to this account and I will submit one assignment. So it will bring something in the grade section or the grade tab here. So that screen won't be shared. So you can just wait for a while. Okay, I just logged in my account, wherein I am able to see the assignments that are posted. Since the assignment is scheduled, what I will do is I will edit the assignment that is posted and I will assign it right now so that I can complete it and submit. Okay. So now students will see the assignment in their streams immediately. So now what I've decided is I don't want to schedule it for tomorrow. I just want to send it now. Okay. So I have just changed the settings and I have assigned the assignment right now. So in my classwork page, and that is the students page, I can see the assignment. So I'm sharing this tab with you. This is the students tab. Can you see the new tab here? This is a students view where I can see a new assignment posted by my teacher. Okay, this is a new other account from which I have joined the given class. So my teacher is Pratiksha Shirodkar posted a new assignment. So this is a student's view. This is how your students will see. Okay, they will have only 3 tabs. Okay, please note this. As a teacher, you get 4 tabs: stream, classwork, people, and grades, because you have to grade the students. But in the students view, you will have only 3 tabs, that is stream, classwork, and people. So here in the stream section, on the stream tab, I can see this particular assignment. So I've clicked on that assignment. Okay, you just can say next or just say cancel. So this is the assignment which the teacher has given me. She has written value education and the instructions, and she has also posted a video. Okay, so I've gone through the video, everything I have done, and I know on what basis she is going to assess me. Okay, so if you remember, we had put one criterion in the rubric section, that is neatness. So the student is able to see that criterion here, that is neatness. So I know, like, the teacher is going to grade me based on this particular criterion. So I know how I'm supposed to work. So what I'll do is I will do my assignment, and to the right I can see this your work. Okay, so what I have to do is, as a student, since it's a student's view, I need to add or create my assignment. So I'll just click on add. Okay, say suppose if I have this assignment ready as a PDF. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just go to file. Okay, I'll select that particular PDF from my device. Okay, and I'll open it, and it will come here, and I need to upload it. So I'll just click on upload. So we can wait for a while till it gets uploaded. So this is my work since it's the student's view, you can see this, your work. I've been assigned this work. So I've added my work here in the form of a PDF. Now below that, this particular option will be active, that is turn in, as in you need to, this is like a submit option. So when you click on that, okay, it will ask you one more question. Do you want to turn in your work? You should click on turn in. So it will submit the assignment to the teacher. Okay. So when you submit the assignment, instead of turn in, you will get unsubmit. Say suppose if you're not happy with the assignment as a student and you want to unsubmit it, you can do that as well. You can click on unsubmit and it will work. And below your work tab, there is one more option of private comments. Now say suppose if you want to ask the teacher a query related to the assignment that is being given to you, you can always type in like, ma'am, I need your guidance. Okay, this is a private message. This message other students will not be able to see. So this message I've typed in. So this message we can see in the teachers tab when we'll open that tab. Okay, so now let me just go to the teachers tab. Can you all see the teachers tab now? Can you all see 4 options here? If yes, please type in yes in the chat box. Okay. Okay, fine. So you can see the teachers tab now, the teachers view now. Here, I know that one student has already submitted an assignment. By default, one mail will go to your personal mail ID using which you have created this Google Classroom. So you'll get a notification in your email. Okay, so you get a notification, so you know that one student has already. So you need to go to that Google Classroom app and open and check whether the student have turned in the assignment or not. Okay, so I just click on the value education tab or this particular option. Okay, since one student has turned in, I can see this particular screen here. Okay, so for that particular assignment, so what have I done? What I have done is I have just I am in the stream tab. Okay, please see this. I'm in the stream tab and I'm going to the post that I have posted as an assignment. So I'm going to this particular post. I've clicked on that. The moment I click on it, it will take me to this interface. So here I can see 2 things, instructions, as in the assignment that I posted to the students, and the other tab is students work. What assignment or how many students have given the assignment. Okay, so the first thing here is 15 points. These are the points that I have assigned to them. Okay, below that is all the students, whether all the students have given the assignment or whether I want to see the assignments of only few students, that is also possible. Since I'm the only one student who is a part of my class, then that's why I cannot see any other students here. But when you have more than 2 students, you can do that. Below that, there is one more option of sorting. Okay, you can sort by status, you can sort by first name, you can sort by last name. So if you have many students, usually in our attendance register, we look at the last name, the first letter and the last name, and accordingly we order them. So likewise, you can sort the students here, using whichever format you want to. Okay, first name, last name, or status. So I want to sort my students based on the first name. So I've sorted them. Since I'm the only one, if I had more students in the class, I would have had more number. Pratiksha Shirodkar, and likewise, I would have had a list of students here. Okay, I have one assignment here turned in. Okay, then below that, one more drop down menu wherein I can see all and turned in. So whether I want to see all the students here or whether I want to see only those students who have turned in the assignment. So what I'm going to select is I'll select turned in. So when I select turn in here, it will show me only those students who have given the assignment. So I don't have to choose, or I don't have to look for those students who have submitted the assignment. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to grade this particular assignment. So I've gone through, I've opened this assignment. Okay. I can click on this particular PDF. Okay. You will not be able to see this since I have not shared this screen. Okay, but the moment you click on this particular work that the student has posted, you will see the PDF, whatever the students, whatever that the student have posted. After that, after going through that, you can grade the student based on the criterion that you have set for the student using the rubric, and then you can grade the student. Say suppose out of 15, I want to give C. Now, when you click here, there's one more thing that has come, that is a rubric section to the right. So I had only one criterion here, that is neatness. If I had more, all those criteria would have appeared here. So now the app is asking me for this particular option or for this particular criterion, how much points am I giving to the student? So out of 3, I want to give 2 marks to the student. Okay, I want to give 2 marks to the students. That is for the criterion neatness. Okay, I am done. Yes. So now I can grade. I have graded the student indirectly. So out of 3, I have given 2 marks for the criterion. So the automatically the marks have come here as 10. Okay. So what I am doing is I am returning these marks to the student. Student will be notified and can check any grade you have left. Okay, so what this app is basically doing is it is keeping all the things very organized. It is keeping everything very much in sequence. Okay, now here whatever that you have put or whatever marks that you have put or whichever criterion, how many marks you have given, all those marks will be seen by the teacher. That's what this particular tab is showing us. So to me, I have graded 10 marks. So what I'm doing, I'm adding a private comment. Like I can say, very good. Okay, and I'm returning this particular work. Okay, now here you can see one pop-up message that has come, that is one submission returned. So let us go to the students view here and let us see how it has come to me in the students view. So this is my class as a student which I have joined, and there are 2 private comments here. That is the one which I had sent as a message to them, a message to the teacher that ma'am, I need your guidance, and the teacher has replied to me as an appreciation for the assignment that I've done. That is very good. Now from where will I know how many marks I've got? Okay, the marks are shown here. Can you see this particular section? Yes. So out of 15, I've got 10 marks. Okay. So further, if the student has any question or query related to the marks that the student has got, they can always ask the teacher in the private comment box here, or they can do a class comment. Okay. Whether they can ask ma'am, like say suppose if I want to ask my teacher what improvements do you suggest? Okay, this is a question that I want to ask, and as a class comment, and I have posted this question. So this question will be seen in the stream tab. So let us go to the classroom. Okay, so I've come back to my teacher's view. Okay, so in the stream section, you can see for the assignment that I've posted, one class comment. So what I need to do, I just need to click on it, and the question which I asked as a student has come here, that what improvements do you suggest? So as a teacher, you can just comment something like, say suppose if I want to say focus on the neatness of your work. Okay, this is a comment as a teacher I am giving. So when you post this, this message will be shown in the student's view, okay, in the class comment itself. So these messages or this conversation which are happening here will be visible to all the participants. Okay, if you want to ask something to the teacher privately, that option is also available and it will be kept on record. So this is the way by which you can grade the students. So since we did that exercise of students view and the teacher view, earlier we didn't have anything in the grade section, but now we can see the students, since only one student is there, or else we would have had a list of students and the marks that the student has received. Okay, out of 15 the student has received 10 marks and the assignment was given, or the assignment was scheduled on July 10, and all the other details related to the assignment would appear in the grades tab. So one important distinction between a students tab and a teachers tab is, teachers tab will have 4 sections, that is stream, classwork, people, grades. Okay, and the students tab, the screen that I am sharing now is of student tabs. So the student tab will have only, okay, later. The student tab will have only 3 sections. That is stream, classwork, people and grades. Okay, so today we have seen how we can create and join a class, how to add students and collaborators. We have also seen how to create topics. Why creating topic is important? Because it will help us organize our work. And fourth one is how we can share material with the students. We can share with them the YouTube videos, we can share with them files, we can share PPTs, we can share PDFs. We have also seen how we can schedule the assignment, or we can assign them at that moment itself, or we can schedule it for some other day. Okay, and we have also seen the students view and the teachers view while grading an assignment. Okay, and how to use rubrics for adding criterion to the assignment, because which will make everything very proper and very organized, and you don't just give marks to the students based on the mood in which you are. So suppose if you are in a very good mood, you give good marks. If you are not in so good mood, you give less marks. So that mood swings will not affect the kind of marks that you're giving to the students. So everything will be based on a criterion, on the criteria, and all the criterion you will have to mark based on the work that the student has submitted. Okay, so if you have any, I think I'm done with Google Classroom. If anybody is having any question related to the things that we have done today, please ask it in the chat box.